Hi everybody, my name is Aton and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. Now I'm not sure if you saw the demo, the promo teaser video, so if you didn't, here is just one example of one variation of the effect we will be creating. There are lots of different ways to do this, lots of variations, and you can get lots of cool looks with lots of different styles, and you can use this as an intro, an outro, whatever you want for your YouTube channel or anything similar. This could be a production company logo, so let's get started. So, we are in a new composition, let's make a new solid, and we'll start by making the background. So let's throw on CC threads. Perfect. Let's turn this up to full just so we can see what we're doing here. Before I go and tweak any of these settings, I'm going to throw on a polar coordinates. Now, what this is going to do is when we turn it to 100 and switch it to rect to polar, this will give us a pretty nice circle effect, because this just curves everything, brings it in. So now what we can do is, I like to turn down the texture and up the shadowing a lot, and then play with the width and height a little bit. This would be cool for an intro, as is. That's like these different sliding beams and stuff. But I think this is pretty cool for the effect we want to be going, so around these settings right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is add our text. So new text, and we'll just type demo for now. I'll do all caps. That's pretty good. And all that, let me center that. Here. Okay, so that looks pretty good as far as our text goes. So now we can get to the real magic here. That's in an adjustment layer. So first, before I do that, let me just label this bottom layer BG background. Okay, adjustment layer. So now what we have to start with here is a radial fast blur. This is going to be the basis for our effect. So we can turn up the zoom, and you can see as we drag this around, you get some really cool light ray effects. And this effect actually was inspired by an Andrew Kramer tutorial on volumetric lighting using this effect, and then I totally adapted it to make it more of a intro style. But this, I actually hadn't really used this effect much before that tutorial, so you should probably check that tutorial out, because that's a fairly interesting one. Okay, so the next thing is VC color vibrance. Speaking of Video Copilot, VC color vibrance. So this is great for giving just a color to your demo thing. So we can give ours like a nice color like that. You can pick your color, it doesn't really matter. And then if you don't like that as much, if you don't want a single color and you more want multiple colors, you can use Colorama instead. And this is, it looks crazy at first, I know, but if we switch it to like fire, there we go, that looks pretty good. And you don't even really need the VC color vibrance, but it does help for some reason with some of that alpha channel stuff, keeping it a little less blocky. So it just sort of smooths stuff out a little bit. I think it's with the color channels it gets rid of. So anyway, now we have our cool looking demo thing, and you can totally tweak all this. You can use whatever, not all the presets look good, but you can use whatever one you want, or you could tweak this fire one, which I use a lot. So for example, we can go to this color and say you don't like that color, we can make that a blue, and that color doesn't really work, so I'm going to Control Z, but you can go through the whole thing. The trick is keeping it, actually, like if you wanted to just change the overall feel of it, you could do a hue saturation, and then just rotate the hue until you find something you like. So say I wanted it to be a little more purple and red, you can get that kind of thing. That looks a little more cartoony though, so I'm going to get rid of that hue and saturation. I like it the way it was before. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is add lens flares, because who doesn't like lens flares? Actually, a lot of people, but we're going to ignore them. So I'm going to call this just effects, this layer on top, and this will be lens flare 1, and we will put on optical flares if you have that. This isn't required, like you don't need this since it is a third-party plugin. You don't need this for the effect to look cool, but I think lens flares do make it look a lot better, so I recommend it. But you can use pictures of lens flares just online, find a good lens flare, put it on screen mode, and that'll look pretty good. So just make sure you find a nice anamorphic looking one. I kind of like that preset, so go with that one down there, then duplicate it. It makes it lens flare 2 now, which I like automatically. Then this one can be sort of attached to the top of that O. We can change the preset if we want. And we can, one thing I like to do to keep things nice and anamorphic looking, and turn up the scale and turn down the brightness, and that way you preserve the shape of it and the nice big shape, but you don't have to worry about like not being able to see some components of it. And if you do see, we're getting a little bit of a posterized effect there, so I think I'm just gonna add a slight fast blur over it. Sorry, not the lens flare. I want one over all the effects. Just 1 or 2 pixels. Fine, just smooth things out a little bit. Still there a little bit, but less noticeable. Switch it up to a 2. It's mostly gone. You have to look at it really close to realize it, and everything else looks still pretty much fine. So we can just throw on one more lens flare in the middle just for the heck of it. So the bottom there, the top. You can pick your lens flare locations, maybe on the inside of the E. That makes it unreadable. I'll turn back down the scale and up the brightness a little. Yeah, I think I like it down there. Okay, so now for the fun part of it, the animation. So now we can go back to effects and keyframe the center. So, and the other thing we're going to want to keyframe is the amount. So what we're going to want to do is start probably up in the corner somewhere, and with an amount where it makes it impossible to read. You want the value too high to be able to comprehend what it says, like without already knowing it. So 100 with these words and this location and stuff looks pretty good. So now we'll start there, then by around a second we can hit the first lens flare straight on, a little before the second, maybe come over here, second 3, you can cross up to the top, and by second 4, you'll be right around the middle. Okay, so this looks pretty cool. Let's just save that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and animate the amount. So 100 is good until around here, I think, is what I'm going to want to change. So I'm just going to type 100 and enter again to make sure that leaves a keyframe. You can see, actually that works better. I'll do that. And then by the end, we'll turn it down. You still want some, because having none just makes it look too blocky. So actually I'll do that, and then by another second I'll leave everything, and I'll do that with these lens flares too, actually. This just came to me. This wasn't in the plan for the tutorial, but I think it'll look cool. So, we'll bring the opacity of all the lens flares down here too. So I don't know, if you like that, you could have like a logo as your background instead of this layer as your background. You can sub any of these out, and so then it fades to like your text and your logo. So end it there, hit N. I'm going to save it again. Let's watch it in half quality. That looks pretty good. And you can speed it up a little. This is a smoother look. And we ended it a little abruptly, so let's just let that sink in. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let me just click on it. If you have any videos or intros you've made using this technique, be sure to send those to me or put them in the comment section or something like that. Those are always great to see. So, thanks for watching this After Effects tutorial. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to get back to you. So, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.